Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're tackling Leetcode problem 3100, water bottles 2. This one's a fun puzzle about maximizing how many water bottles you can drink. It sounds simple, but there's a little twist that makes it interesting. We'll break down the logic and look at a couple of cool ways to solve it. Ready? Let's get started. Okay, so here's the setup. We start with a certain number of full water bottles, let's call that num bottles. We also have an exchange rate, num exchange. The game is simple. We want to drink as many bottles as possible. So we have two main actions. First, we drink a bottle, which adds to our total and gives us an empty bottle. Second, we can exchange a pile of empty bottles for a new full one. But here's the catch. Every time we make an exchange, the price for the next one goes up by 1. This is the key part of the problem we need to manage. Our ultimate goal is to figure out the absolute maximum number of bottles we can drink by cleverly drinking and exchanging until we just can't make any more trades. It's all about being efficient with our empty bottles. Let's walk through the example from the problem description. We start with 13 full bottles and an exchange rate of 6. The best first move is always to drink everything we have, so we drink all 13 bottles. Our total drunk is now 13, and we have 13 empty bottles. Now, can we make a trade? The cost is 6 empty bottles, and we have 13. Yes, so we trade 6 empties for 1 new full bottle. We're left with 7 empty bottles, and the exchange rate for next time goes up to 7. We still have that 1 full bottle from the last trade. Now let's check again. Can we make another trade? The cost is now 7, and we have exactly 7 empty bottles. Perfect. We trade those 7 for another new full bottle. Now we have 2 full bottles, 0 empties, and the next exchange rate will be 8. We've got 2 full bottles, so let's drink them. This brings our total drunk up to 15 and gives us 2 empty bottles. Can we make another trade? The cost is 8, but we only have 2 empties. Nope, we're stuck. So the final answer is 15. Just a quick heads up. We'll be walking through the solution using Python. But don't worry if that's not your main language. The logic is what's important, and I'll show the full code for Java, C++, and JavaScript at the end. Okay, for our first approach, let's just do what we did in the walkthrough. This is called a simulation. We'll create variables to track how many bottles we've drunk, how many empties we have, and what the current exchange rate is. Then, we'll just loop as long as we have enough empty bottles to make a trade. Alright, here's the complete Python code for the simulation approach. It might look a little dense at first, but it's really just turning our step-by-step logic into code. Let's break it down piece by piece. First things first, we initialize our variables. The answer, which we call ans, starts at num bottles, because we're definitely going to drink all the bottles we begin with. And since we drink them all, the number of empty bottles we have is also equal to the initial num bottles. Next, we have our main loop. This while loop is the heart of the simulation. It simply says, as long as the number of empty bottles we have is greater than or equal to the current exchange cost, we're going to keep trying to make trades. Once we can't afford a trade, the loop will stop. Inside the loop, we perform one full exchange cycle. First, we pay for the new bottle by subtracting the num exchange cost from our pile of empty bottles. Then, we immediately increase num exchange by 1 for the next potential trade. That exchange gave us 1 new, full bottle. What do we do with it? We drink it right away, so we add 1 to our ans. And by drinking it, that bottle instantly becomes an empty bottle, so we also add 1 to our empty bottles count. This completes one cycle, and the loop checks again if we can make another trade. Now for a different way of thinking. The simulation is great and easy to understand, but it involves a loop. What if we could find the answer with a direct calculation? This approach uses a bit of math. The core idea is to figure out the total number of exchanges, let's call it T, that we can possibly make, all at once. So how does this work? Well, if we make T exchanges, the costs will be an arithmetic series. We can sum that up to find the total empty bottles we'd need. On the other hand, the total empty bottles we'll ever have is the initial amount plus the T new ones we get from those exchanges. We just need to find the largest T where the bottles we have are enough to cover the cost. This relationship actually forms a quadratic equation, which we can solve directly. And here's the code. It looks a bit like magic, but it's just the quadratic formula in action. It calculates the coefficients, finds the root of the equation, which represents T, the number of exchanges, and then adds that to our initial num bottles. No loops, just a direct formula. So how do these two approaches compare? The simulation's runtime is about the square root of the number of bottles. This is because the exchange cost grows linearly, meaning the total cost grows quadratically, so the number of steps is the reverse, a square root. The math approach, on the other hand, is constant time, or big O of 1, because it's just a few calculations, regardless of the input size. Both use constant extra space. The math approach is technically faster, but the simulation is often easier to come up with during an interview. Alright, as promised, here's the full solution in Java. This is the simulation approach, as it's the most common implementation across languages. You can pause here to take a closer look. Next up, here is the C++ version. The logic is identical to the Java and Python simulation, just with C++ syntax. Feel free to pause and review the code. And finally, here is the solution in JavaScript. Once again, it's the same simulation logic. Seeing it in a few different languages can really help solidify the pattern. So let's quickly recap. We explored two solid ways to solve this problem. The first was a straightforward simulation, which is intuitive and easy to code. The second was a more advanced mathematical approach that solved the problem in constant time using the quadratic formula. The key to both was correctly handling that increasing exchange cost. If you enjoyed this problem and want to keep practicing, the learning doesn't have to stop here. I've organized all my video solutions into handy playlists. Whether you're looking to grind through more Leetcode easy, medium, or hard problems, or you want to master a specific topic like sliding window or dynamic programming, I've got a playlist for you. It's the perfect way to focus your study sessions. Go to the playlist tab and find a playlist that fits your goals. Also, if you're looking for even more Leetcode problems beyond the daily challenge, I've started a second channel called Leetcode Unlocked. It's where I'll be posting solutions to a ton of other problems. So if you're serious about your interview prep, be sure to check it out. The link is in the description below. Hope this Leetcode solution breakdown made sense. If it helped, give that like button a click, maybe subscribe for more, or drop a comment if you have questions. Make sure to turn on the notification bell so you know straight away when I upload a video, because I upload videos daily. This channel doesn't make any money from sponsorships or ads yet, so if you're feeling generous, there's always the Boba Fund. Keep coding and I'll catch you in the next one.